All right, so today we're going to talk about angle relationships. And we're going to start with what's called adjacent angles. All right. Are next to each other. They share a side and vertex. Adjacent angles. They're next to each other and they share a side and a vertex. So what they look like would be, if we have angle ABC here and angle CBD, those two angles are adjacent to each other. Can anybody tell me what side they share? What side is in both angles? Good. C is a point. So when we're talking about a side, we need 2 points. BC. Good. BC is a side. And they both have side BC in there. What vertex do they share? Very good. They share B. All right. So we could say angle ABC and angle CBD are adjacent. See if my highlighter is going to work. Blue angle is adjacent to pink angle. All right, CBD is the pink angle. ABC is the blue angle. They share a side and they share a vertex, so they are called adjacent angles. Any questions about adjacent angles? All right, then let's look at a linear pair of angles. A linear pair of angles are adjacent. And they form a straight line. And then we're going to add to that their sum is 180 degrees. So we're going to say a linear pair of angles. And you applied this concept last week, but you didn't, or we hadn't talked about the term linear pair yet. So if we have a straight line and we put a point on that line and then just take a ray out of that point and go up to the right. We just created two angles, right? And again, we can label them ABC and angle CBD. They're adjacent to each other, agreed? They're next to each other. They share side BC. They share point B. But look at the sides that they don't share. Side BA and side BD. Anybody remember what those two are called? From a couple weeks ago? Remember opposite rays? Yeah, they have the same endpoint. So these opposite sides, they're opposite rays, but they also form a straight line, don't they? So if this angle right here is 180 degrees, then this top angle would also be 180 degrees, wouldn't it? So let's say angle ABC plus angle CBD is equal to 180 degrees. ABC and CBD added together equal 180. So if I put like 120 degree angle measure right here, and then the variable x, we could find x by writing a quick equation, right? We could say 120 plus x is equal to 180. And then we could subtract 120 from each side. And x would be equal to 60 degrees. So angle CBD, this angle right here, CBD, which is CBD, would be equal to 60 degrees. Any questions about a linear pair of angles? All right, then next we have what's called vertical angles. Vertical angles are formed by intersecting lines and are congruent. Vertical angles are formed by intersecting lines and are congruent. What does congruent mean? Same, right? Equal to. Here's the symbol for it. The equal sign with a little squiggly line over it. That means congruent. So if we just draw two lines on our paper that intersect each other, we just formed some vertical angles. Now, there's four angles in this picture, right? We've got angle 1, 2, angle 3, and angle 4. Angle 1 and angle 3 are vertical angles. And then we have another pair, angle 4 and angle 2. Angle 4 and angle 2 are vertical angles. What's the relationship between angle 1 and angle 2? What are those called? They're adjacent. What else? Angle 1 and angle 2. You just wrote it down in your notes. They're a linear pair. Good. What about angle 2 and angle 3? Aren't they next to each other? So they're adjacent and they're a linear pair. So 1 and 3 are vertical angles. 4 and 2 are vertical angles. And vertical angles are congruent. So if you draw another picture on your paper, we can say this. Arc marks are a notation saying that angles are congruent. So this angle right here on the left is congruent to this angle on the right because they're vertical angles. This angle up top has 2 arc marks, and it's congruent to this angle on the bottom because it has 2 arc marks. All right? So vertical angles are opposite of each other. They're formed by 2 lines, and they are also congruent. All right, so 2 more types of angles. Complementary angles. Some 90 degrees. Complementary angles some 90 degrees. So if we have this diagram and we've got the symbol for a right angle down at this vertex B, and again we've got AB. Let's take a line or a ray out of this vertex. Here's point C again, and here's point D. Complementary angles sum 90 degrees. So angle ABC plus angle CBD is equal to 90 degrees. All right, the 2 angles, if they add up to 90 degrees, then they are complementary. If they are complementary, then they add up to 90 degrees. Now, complementary angles don't have to be touching each other. All right, we can have an angle right here. Angle XYZ. And if it's 30 degrees, and then we've got an angle over here, angle MNO. An angle MNO measures 60 degrees. Then angle XYZ and angle MNO are complementary. All right, and the last relationship we're going to talk about today is supplementary angles. And supplementary angles sum 180 degrees. Supplementary angles sum 180 degrees. So if we've got an angle here, we'll go with ABC again. We'll give it a measure of 130 degrees. And then we have another angle that's 50 degrees. Angle EFG. Since the angle measures sum 180 degrees, angle ABC and angle EFG are supplementary. Any two angles that add up to 180 degrees are supplementary angles. All right, so let's look at this picture right here. And let's say that you're asked to find the value of x. And up top we've got 120 degrees. And on the bottom we have 2x minus 10. What's the relationship between these two angles? Vertical angles. And what do you know about vertical angles? They're congruent. Good. So doesn't 120 equal 2x minus 10? All right, the angles are equal to each other. So if you had to solve for a variable, well, you just set the two expressions equal to each other and you solve for x. Does everybody see that? Now I'm going to let you solve that on your own because it's one of your practice problems today. Let's look at this picture. Again, if you have to find the value of x, and this angle here is 2x degrees, and this angle is 4x plus 100 degrees. What's the relationship between those two angles? They're adjacent. What else? Do they form a straight line? All right. Are they a linear pair? Are they supplementary? So in this case, 2x plus 4x plus 100 is equal to, what's it equal to? 180, good. So see the difference in the setup? In the previous picture, the angles were equal to each other. In this picture, you got to add the two angles together and set them equal to 180. Make sure you see the difference. All right, so here's your practice problems for today. We're going to do page 51. Problems 19 through 23. Actually, before that, let's do problems. Sorry about that. Let's start on page 50 and do problems 1 and 2, and then over on the next page, 19 through 24. All right, you got 10 ALEKS topics this week. All right, so there's your practice problems, and there's your ALEKS topics for the week.